Elphaba is facing prison time, and when you add up everything she's done, it kind of starts to make sense. So Elphaba, at this point, they're a bit of a reoccurring character on this channel. But listen, don't worry, this is all for good reason. It's because they make such high quality and evergreen content. Now, I'm only joking, it's because they are basically a social experiment. TikTok is a bit of a hotbed for weird content, but Elphaba, she might take the cake. And she'll take the cake, she'll eat it, and then she'll try to get a refund.
So is it possible to get a refund just for that cake?
I'm gonna say no. And that is just one of Elphaba's many crimes, but we will be covering that in this video. First, like with any retrospective, we should probably start with the most egregious. Elphaba is being actively eaten by skin mites, and she's not quarantining, she is spreading them across the UK. If you're currently itching in any capacity, I hate to break it to you, but Elphaba, she's probably giving you scabies, because ever since her diagnosis, if you could even call it a diagnosis, well, she's kind of been on a countrywide tour. So scabies, if you don't have the displeasure of knowing what they are, I can't lie, I didn't know what they were till like this week, but they are, and I quote, a microscopic mite that burrows into the upper layer of the skin, and once they're in the upper layer of the skin, they lay their eggs, and once they do this in humans, they create intense itching and a pimple-like skin rash. To be fair, it sounds like a pretty low price for life, but I've never had them, so I'm probably being really lenient there. Obviously, jokes aside, they're disgusting, and they're very, very easily spreadable. Our good friend Elphaba has them, or had them, I don't even know at this point, but listen, don't take my word for it, I'm gonna show you a little bit of proof of this.
So, you can get scabies anywhere in the world, it's quite a common thing. Eat as well, look. Just see my feet. They really have my feet on, you know what I mean?
So first of all, you should thank me. Initially, I was going to show the uncensored clip, but when I was doing the edit, I went back through and I realised that was just too horrible. I don't want to subject you to any trauma, so you should probably thank me, and you can do that by dropping a sub. But this scabies thing, it looks like the plague. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but Elphaba did. Well, to be fair, she kind of wished it on anyone in her presence. Because as I said, she was doing like a tour and she did not care. So we have actually covered this scabies thing in a previous video, but this rabbit hole does go so deep that there's enough content for like a documentary on this. With the amount of effort she's putting into spreading it, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a BBC News documentary on this. But we'll see, we'll see. If it doesn't make it to the BBC, we know it at least made it to the CLA TikTok page. They've been in each other's presence a lot. She found out on one of her lives that Elphaba did have scabies and that she did probably spread it to her. And as you can probably imagine, well, she wasn't happy. This look, these eyes alone, they speak 1,000 words. These are the eyes of absolute terror, like realization that you might be finished.
Oh shit, how do you get it? What do I do? Always drama, man. That's why I stay away from people. Do you understand?
But you know what? In this life, things happen, We're not in control of a lot, Sometimes it rains. Sometimes we spread parasites to our mate. Well, you get what I mean. But in that situation, all you can really do is hold your hands up, say you're sorry, and kind of make it right. Did Elphaba do that? I'll let you take a quick guess, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to show you instead.
I passed scabies on to Chelsea out without even knowing. But it's quite funny, to be honest, because she actually made fun of my skin condition. And she said, let's play dot to dot on Elphaba's face, and...
Well, that's Elphaba. And to be honest, I think it's kind of an important point to establish, because Elphaba, she's not a good person. I mean, at surface level, if she was like a really upstanding citizen, it would feel a bit weird to kind of take the piss. But everything she does, it is in the pursuit of attention. And because of that, she does a lot of stuff that is not very nice. To that, you might say, you're a commentary channel, you are the lowest of the low. And to that, all I can say is, you know what? At least I've never given any of you guys scabies. You're probably clean unless you live in the same town as Elphaba, because while these mites were crawling through her skin, well, she decided she needed a bit of caffeine. She decided to do one of her streams in Starbucks, and all I can say to that is there is much better coffee available on the high street. If you're gonna spread your parasitic mites to the public, at least make sure you are getting a value for money. But yeah, as I said, she did stream it because of course she did, and because of that, some people called up the store, and as you can probably imagine, they were less than impressed.
Sorry, I need to ask you to leave. Why? Because there are people, so many people left the store. So when they just call me and just
Yeah, because they're trolling. They're trolling, and they're trying to make my life a living crap. That's not fair on me. You know that, right? It's not fair.
yeah.
As soon as the penny drops for Elphaba that she can do stuff without streaming it on TikTok, well, her life is going to get a lot better. Until then, though, she might actually have to face accountability for her actions. And that's exactly what she's facing here. Did she take it gracefully, or did she kick up a fuss? Once again, I don't feel like I need to tell you. I'm just going to show you the clip because it says more than I ever could.
Yeah, there's 3,800 people here. They're laughing at me right
Yeah,
now.
they were just calling.
They're trolling. So I've got a few 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Listen, scabies aside, and for all her faults, well, she's a born hustler, you know. Any chance to promote the brand, she will take it. And the guy she's talking to here, he did follow her. I mean, he followed her out the store to make sure that she actually left. But you know what? That's beside the point. After this run-in with people in public, well, you'd hope that it would kind of serve as a reality check. Presumably, she has been embarrassed in front of people here. And I mean, in fairness, going off her TikTok live, she is probably immune to that. But again, it should serve as a thing that screws your head back on. I currently have contagious parasites in my skin. I should probably isolate. Did she do this?
I can't fucking stay in it anymore. I can't stay here anymore.
Well, it's going to be the third time that I'm going to ask you to guess. But at this point, if you're still optimistic, well, to be honest, you probably deserve to be disappointed.
I need a cop. Who's annoying?
Recognise that coat? Yeah, it's the same coat. Now, a massive thing with scabies is that they're pretty durable. If you're deep in your Elphaba lore, you're going to know that this clip wasn't taken on the same day. If you're also deep with your scabies lore, well, they can survive away from humans for days. That's unless you like wash your clothes. But I'm going to speculate here and say that she probably didn't wash this coat. Maybe I'm being a conspiracy theorist, but judging by her past, well, I'm going to say it's not very likely. I'll let you make up your own mind again, but honestly, I think we're 4 for 4 on these. Either way though, if you were in that club on that night, probably go have a bath and probably don't go to any Starbucks in the near future. And like, it is kind of easy to joke about, but when you're spreading anything, there's danger involved. There are actually multiple ways that scabies can like really have negative effects on people beyond just itching, that is. The same can be said for like any condition, even a cold. Typically, if you're ill or if you have any condition that is easily contagious, well, obviously there is a social expectation that you will keep yourself to yourself. The biggest conversation around this is obviously like immunocompromised people. I mean, all it takes is spreading it to the wrong person for there to be dire consequences potentially. And I mean, there's two sides to this argument. You could say this is massively unlikely, but a lot of things are until they happen. Scabies in this instance is obviously different to like a cold. I mean, the nature of the condition, as we've seen from Elphaba, well, they can really create like sores and massive spots, for example. In certain conditions, this can easily lead to an infection. And regardless of how improbable this might be, there is absolutely no justification for taking this risk for the sake of a coffee. And this really isn't an unreasonable fear for people to have. With Elphaba, for example, it got to the point where the police had to get involved. And I'm sure they've got her on file with all the other things that we're going to talk about in this video considered. But it's pure selfishness, and it really does go to show her character. So next on this hypothetical court document, it's her attitude to money. And I mean, she loves it, but she doesn't love to spend it. So this one, it does hold a place close to my heart. It was the subject of my first commentary video. And I mean, look at us now. We're still talking about Elphaba. It was also my first time ever coming across Elphaba. And whether that was for good or for bad, I'll let you decide. But either way, the rest is history. So Elphaba, she had a bit of a side hustle going on. She would charge money for photos on nights out. And I mean, she bought a card reader for this purpose.
This is what I do. So if I was so I came up to someone right, real life, right? Hello, yes. So.
And the ethics of tricking drunk people into paying money for a photo, I probably don't need to explain that to you. I mean, I've done some rough things on nights out. None of it gets as bad as paying for a photo of Elphaba. But if you want to talk about predatory business practice, running up on drunk people, it might be up there. This is, of course, not the only time that she's been really dubious with her attitude to money. She changed her TikTok membership fee to like 50 quid from 5 quid. And I mean, she has the full right to do that in the appropriate circumstance. pants. But the whole point around this was she did it without warning. And unless you just happen to be in that TikTok live, well, there's no way of knowing until the money comes out. I guess maybe there would be an email or something. But the chances of missing an email in this day and age, I don't think I need to tell you that it's pretty high. I don't want to get too preachy about this, but in a cost of living crisis, having a £50 charge run up on you, well, it might be a problem for a lot of people. Your reaction to this might be that these people have given money to Elphaba. On that basis alone, they might deserve it. But it's TikTok, and TikTok, it has quite a few kids on it. Shock horror, I'm going to make a speculative claim, but if I had to guess, I would probably say that half of her income is probably kids stealing their parents' credit card. If it's not, then I have serious concerns about the population of this country. But I'm going to go with my theory because it will help me sleep at night. Do you know what else helps people sleep at night? Eating good. And Elphaba, she does eat good. It's got to the point where she probably has a takeaway every single day. And I touched on it earlier in the video, but she doesn't like to pay for these takeaways. In fact, she might refund every single takeaway she's ever got.
Oh, 100% complain about. A million. If you don't complain, you don't get.
Well, she at least tries, you know. I showed that clip earlier in the video. It doesn't always go well, but the nature of streaming every single moment of your day on TikTok live, well, there's like ample proof that she does this for every takeaway she's ever bought. And I'm not necessarily here to be the moral police on this one. Being a uni student, you know, it happens. But doing it on a takeaway a day is a little bit dubious. And the most stupid aspect of this for Elphaba, she has, by her own hand, documented every single time she's tried this.
I'll get your refund at least. Did you know if your food's cold you can get a refund? On the bright side, I'm getting a refund now.
She might single-handedly bankrupt Uber Eats. And if she does, well, you know who they're going to be suing. Being behind bars for refunded takeaways is arguably worse than murder. But with the amount of evidence on show here, well, this might be plausible. But realistically, the real crime here is watching her eat. This would be the point where I put in another clip, but for your sake, I'm not going to subject you to that again. If these videos have shown me anything, well, realistically, it is temperance in showing these clips. If you've made any video on Elphaba, be it on TikTok or on here, or if you've even watched one, which I guess you're doing now, you do have my respect. We might be the new age Marines, because nobody should have to go through this, but I guess it's necessary. The next crime on the list is that she really does waste police time. She is always calling the police for like trivial reasons.
Have you got usernames of other people that are predominantly causing issues?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to ask people the username because I don't know what Jordan's username. Guys, what is Jordan's username in the chat?
Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not ingrained enough in like Elphaba culture to know if this is fake or not. You know, I'm just a bloke. Be patient with me. My only guess would be that this is like one of her friends playing a character. But there are so many of these clips with so many different voices. I don't think she has that many friends. Who knows though? I'm only here to be proved wrong, really. I try to see the best in Elphaba, but at times it is hard. That's a mini crime though, kind of like a bonus round. People are starting to take this Elphaba stuff seriously though. And I mean, if we've learned one thing about Elphaba, it's that she's not very honest. So you've got to take these claims with a pinch of salt when there's no evidence. She claims that the police searched her and like ran up on her thinking she had a knife. And I mean, if that's true, you can only imagine that they weren't very hospitable at first. She did say, please stop wasting police time, which is very ironic. But if this is to be believed, the police are coming. She will be on the file. And I mean, when you compile all of this stuff, you can start to put a compelling case together as to why Elphaba should probably be behind bars. And I mean, this isn't a plea to the police to arrest Elphaba or anything, but she is a danger to society, whatever way you look at it. And that's just scabies aside, you know, when you add the scabies thing, she is like a biohazard. Maybe the police are just going to peg her on one of these charges, and if they did it, it would probably be for the greater good. But yes, with that said, that I think the video is over. We've gone through so much Elphaba today that my brain is in a state. I say it in every video, but it never gets easier. When I said we were the Marines, we might be tougher. But will Elphaba go to prison? Who knows? We can only wait and see. I have no doubt that if she continues on the path she's currently on, well, this attention-seeking treadmill, eventually it's going to get too steep, and she is going to do something that she can't take back. But for that, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. Drop a like and a comment. Drop a sub. You know, we are a small channel. Every interaction helps. But yeah, it's with that I think I'm going to go decontaminate my local Starbucks in a bit.